I want to take a closer look at our top story this hour. A U.S. judge has struck down the Affordable Care Act. It was President Barack Obama's signature piece of legislation. It brought health care to millions. It also brought the wrath of conservatives who have been trying for years to dismantle it. Let's bring in Peter Mathews, political science professor at Cypress College. Donald Trump promised to repeal and replace Obamacare. Do you think a judge in Texas could be the one who ends up fulfilling at least the first part of that promise, repeal?
Well, the repeal, yes, but there'll be a Supreme Court hearing a little later on, and that'll be the final decision. I must say, Cyril, there's two different philosophies here. One is health care a human right that should be guaranteed for all, as one side believes? The other side believes that it's an individual privilege that you have to earn individually. So that's a whole different clash of opinions here on what the foundation of the health care issue is. Very important to note that.
Yeah, but so you're telling me about the politics of it, but it could end up decided as a legal matter. It already has been by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And the legal argument in court, to your point, is actually totally different, really, from the politics of it and how you look at health care and whether it should be free market based or whether it should be a right for everyone. So it could end up just being a legal issue.
That's true, because the legal issue has to do with the individual mandate, which turns on the question of the tax cuts of 2017 that Trump brought in. And those tax cuts eliminated the penalty for not having health insurance. And the court decided that because of that, the individual mandate is no longer valid, and therefore it's not Congress cannot stand on that because that was a tax. Don't forget, twice before that, this Affordable Care Act was upheld, once by Chief Justice Roberts actually being the deciding vote, saying that the individual mandate is valid because it's a type of tax, and so it would be allowed. Congress could do it and could fund it. It was actually a technical issue. You're right on that. That's how they decided.
But now the tax has it's disappeared. It's been taken down to zero in the new tax law, and that was the basis for the legal argument of the Texas judge saying, well, if it's zero, then it's not a tax, and therefore it becomes illegal. That's his argument. I want to read for you the president's tweet. As I predicted all along, Obamacare has been struck down as an unconstitutional disaster. Now Congress must pass a strong law that provides great health care and protects pre-existing conditions. Mitch and Nancy, get it done. So here's my question. Is this a boon for the president? Is this what he's wanted all along? Or is it actually going to get him stuck in a rut because the law could fall, and if he doesn't have a replacement, then he's going to own that?
The latter. That's exactly what the way you put it is very well done. Is the president's going to be in big trouble if the entire law does continue to be struck down, because millions will be having to give up their health care. It'll create a disaster in the economics of the healthcare system. The president only wanted to strike down the portion of the what's called pre-existing condition guarantees. Yeah. He wanted to keep the rest of the law, but he may just have the whole baby thrown out with the bathwater. That's a real problem for him.
But the counter argument is perhaps this Congress, counterintuitively, may be a better Congress to work with than the previous one, because the Democrats may want to keep some form of health law that they like, and the senators the Republican senators are more moderate than the Republican congressmen were before, so maybe they can agree with the Democratic plan.
It's very possible they can come up with a compromise, and for sure the House is much more progressive on this now because they have 40 new members, 40-seat lead. With Democratic lead, and it could happen in that case. They could get the Republicans in the Senate maybe to compromise. But I think what's going to have to happen, Cyril, is they have to decide.
By the way, potentially that would be, if that happens, that would be a huge political success, wouldn't it?
It would be a success, certainly. But the thing is, can they get it done, and could they go with an alternative system? There's a momentum now for a single-payer universal healthcare system, a public insurance company that I think a lot of Democrats are pushing in the House. Let's see if that can come into fruition. It may take a couple of years, though, because the Republicans do dominate the Senate, as you know.
And I see another danger on the horizon politically, which is, and we saw it already manifest itself in the midterms, Democrats used this issue, and they used it to good effect. They won lots of seats in the House campaigning on health care. They could do that again in 2020.
That's right. Especially when the pre-existing condition part has been taken out, people will start feeling that. Millions will feel it. And if the whole system collapses, then it'll be a big issue that'll hurt the Republicans in the 2020 election overall. Because most Americans, by the way, 75% of Americans support guaranteeing pre-existing conditions coverage. That's a lot of people. Even 58% of the Republicans support it. So this is a losing side that the Obama administration, the Trump administration is on, and so are the Republicans in the Senate on the wrong side. and in the House as well on this one.
Well, and Donald Trump appears to be one of those 75% because he wants Congress also to defend and guarantee pre-existing conditions. I'm just reading his tweet here. That's what he wants. That's his political objective. He's asking Congress to get it done. We'll see if it happens. Peter Mathews, thank you for joining us.
Let's see. Thank you so much.